FBI has put a task force together, and do you know where they're coming? Memphis, Tennessee. If the FBI is coming to Memphis, Tennessee with task force, what do you think they're gonna do? This is not a motherfucking drill nor a motherfucking game. Black parents of children in Memphis, Tennessee, you better wake up, and you better wake up real fast, because this is not gonna be nice. They are not coming to send a task force there just so they can play footsies with y'all. This is what they've been preparing for decades. Remember when he said homegrown criminals? Yeah. Whatever y'all got going on in Memphis, Tennessee, you better wrap it up. And I mean wrap it up right now. They have privatized prisons all over the U.S. and outside of the U.S. with cots that are empty, ready to go. And these companies who own these privatized prisons are ready to put them in these work release programs and work them for free. This is not a drill, nor is it a game. Y'all better get serious about this, and I mean serious about it really quickly, because they're coming, and they're not going to stop until they get what they want.
First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone while I learned his truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back to you today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is the wicked plotteth against the just. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will be today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, have this quick AI overview, and it reads, so as of early May 2026, the Memphis Safe Task Force, a federal state incentive aimed at curbing crime, has made over 8,800 arrests and seized roughly 1,450 illegal firearms since starting operation on September the 29th, 2025. The surge, which includes federal agents and the Tennessee National Guard, has been accredited with a significant drop in violent crimes, including a 35% reduction in homicide. So we're seeing right here, this operation started back in September of 2025, and I think I did a report on it. I think back some part of last year, and they're still there. We already knowing what this is all about. You know, they get ready to target people of color. You know, the Negroes, the Latinos, anyway. This is what we constantly been warning you about, left and right. You know, this devil's get ready to come down with great wrath. So they always say that they're coming to make the city safe, or to make the crime rate to be lower, you know, to clean up the city. You know, it come with all these different things, and also for immigration, you know, illegal aliens, all this type of thing. But all the time they're getting ready to force you in a chokehold, also put you in these so-called facilities, these concentration camps, these prisons that they already have lined up. And also we know that we constantly be getting a massive build-up of military presence throughout these major cities. Pretty much majority black, you know what I'm saying, people of color. So we already know who they're getting ready to target, you know what I'm saying. But that's what we constantly warn you about. We knowing we at the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, but we knowing that it's going to intensify. You know what I'm saying? Who would be the most in trouble? You know, which in fact, you know what I'm saying, is the Negroes, the Latinos, and Native Indians, and also Esau Edom. You know, he's not going to get out of it either. So pretty much everyone gonna be in trouble, but the most will be in trouble are these damn wicked two-thirds. But we're seeing right now that they're talking about this so-called Memphis Safe Task Force. We're not gonna open up, you know, these news articles connected to this AI overview. So we're seeing right now a lot of things that they're saying they're trying to do, but once again, you know, they're talking about making all sorts of arrests. But you know, just like I say, you know, this is right here is setting the stage for what they getting ready to come with this reset. Also these lockdowns, and also we already constantly hearing rumors of this Hana virus. So we already know they're setting the stage for another what pandemic. You know what I'm saying? We're not ignorant of Satan devices, so these things they already have key things already in place. The military, also now they're coming with this so-called outbreak, and also now they're saying, oh, we're gonna kind of, to curb crime, all the about it, but we already know this is coming into this new system, what they get ready to put into place. So they have all the pieces together. So when this, what you call this order out of chaos begin, then they are already there ready to pounce on you. So so that storm is coming. What a military storm. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, but when the enemy coming like a flood, the Lord is going to lift up a standard, a way for you to escape. And also supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play, because this red devil is getting ready to use that sword. You know what I'm saying? But one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to interrupt his agenda. So let's go here and get a few precepts that we'll close out. Really, not gonna be too long tonight. But we're seeing right here, a couple of these. I tweeted out a couple of these little video titles. It said Trump joins Memphis Safe Task Force round table incentives aimed at combating crime. So they already got something in place and make it sound good, But what I'm saying? The enemy speaking sweetly with his lip. But but we already know. But war is what is in his heart. So let's go here first to let me get my apps up. I thought I had my apps up. Let's go here to my apps right quick. My Bible apps. Let's see where they at. Wow, I thought I already had them pulled up. Let's go to the blue letter one if I can get to it. So lock you for this. Let's go here to the blue letter first. We're gonna go to Psalm chapter. Let's go to Psalm chapter 37. Psalm chapter 37. The title of the day. Just a very quick. Let's do the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Once again, I hope that you will get edified. It says here, Psalm chapter 37, verse 12 said, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnashes upon him with his teeth." And everybody, we already know who is the wicked, modern day so-called white man. Also, he plots against the just. Who is the just? Starting with the elect of Israel, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indian. Gnashes upon him with his teeth. It's going into his military might. Going into his technologies, also his pseudoscience. So we already seeing right now, they already had the National Guard in place. They have these so-called Marines in certain states, I think like California, Chicago, Tennessee. Let's see what's another. It's another one. Just to name a few. So we're seeing right now they're constantly coming into these major cities, setting up their plan. So but let's go here to the next verse. It said, verse 13 said, "The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." So the Lord seeing that his day is coming, seeing that his days are determined. So he got bounds that he cannot pass, and also he knowing that he had but a very short time. So we know that he's getting ready to try to put his agenda into place. But hey, it's going to be pretty much futile, something that is very useless, but he's going to try it anyway, and he's getting ready to go down. Verse 14 said, "The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow, said to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation." And who is that? Who is the poor? You talking about what? Israel. We already know this the devil here, had drawn out the sword. But guess what? The Lord is going to intervene on our behalf. So we knowing that the Lord is going to have to bring forth that supernatural intervention. Also, spiritual power is right around the corner. So right here, the wicked plot is against the just. They putting their plan into place, and they're covering it up with, hey, we trying to fight crime. We trying to clean up the city. We trying to stop the violence, to curb the violence. But we already know this is a part of the plan to place you into one of these facilities or one of these prisons, or even to unalive you, in these guillotines. They already brought back to the firing squad. So, just like you said, they coming for you. That lady said in the video, they coming for you. Get ready. A lot of our people, still are playing games, are still not considering the signs of the time, and this devil is getting ready to roll on you. But one thing about it, the elect, we're going to trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. So now let's go here to Psalm chapter 27. Psalm chapter 27, and we'll start up. Let's see where I want to go here. Let's go here. Let's start up at verse 2. All right, Psalm chapter 27, and we'll get verse 2. It says, so when the wicked, even my enemy and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Here's the point. Verse 3 says, though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war shall rise up against me, in this will I be confident. So we already seeing right now that these red devils constantly, encamping around us. It's a great multitude is kindled around us, but we're not even worried. We have confidence. That the Lord is going to deliver us. And one thing about it, we're not fearing. We're constantly going to trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Shah. So let's read this in the NLT. Verse 3 says, though a mighty army surrounds me, my heart will not be afraid. So even if I am attacked, I will remain confident, because what? We trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Shah, and also we fear the Lord, and also we have faith. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't have faith. They're going to be what? Bugged out of their damn mind. So let's go here to Isaiah chapter 59. Isaiah chapter 59, and we'll drop down straight to the point, verse 19. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19 said, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. So when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So one thing about it is here, so when the enemy come in like a flood, what type of flood we talking about? That what military flood with his technology, with all sorts of weaponry, the Lord is going to lift up that standard. Supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play. So the Lord is going to deliver us in ways that we do not know how. All we must do is constantly trust and believe in him. So that standard is going to be lifted, So when this red devil think he's going to exterminate the children of Israel, the Lord is going to show him what time it is. He's getting ready to F around and find out. So now let's go here to Revelations, because this devil's to get ready to try to come down with great wrath. And like I get this one just about every lesson because it's popping right now. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Let's get this here. And it says, verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knowing that he has but a short time. So he's seeing that his days are determined. So he's in that short season right now, and he knowing that he's running out of time. That's why he's trying to put all these things into place. We're seeing right now he's rolling pretty fast. So we know about 2027, everything should be digital, programmable, also implantable device, which in fact is that RFID microchip, which in fact is the mark of the beast, and what the men of the Lord constantly been warning you about left and right. So we seeing right here, therefore rejoice ye heavens, talking about what? Israel, the elect, starting with the elect. It said, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. Is talking about what? The people, it said, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath. And out about it, who is that devil? This the modern day so-called white man. And also when you go into that word devil, goes into diabolos, a false accuser, someone that's slanderous, someone is a deceiver, someone that is a antichrist. We already know that there are many antichrists, against the will of Yahweh Bashim Abishai. And it says that because he knowing that his time is short, so he's seeing that his days is determined. He knowing right now he's going to try these futile plans. You know what I'm saying? So we knowing that the heathens are raging right now. We're seeing right now that they are constantly putting their plan into place. Also, we know that he constantly come with all these different executive orders, these mandates, a lot of things that they're constantly putting into place. Just recent, I think in Memphis, Tennessee, they came up with the same type of passed the same type of law that Louisiana just passed about a couple of days ago, that civil rights votes. So, get around to it, check that out. So it's a lot of uproars going on in these major cities. I think it was Louisiana, the Tennessee. I think, I can't think of the other state, but, they're constantly targeting these majority so-called black cities, so we're seeing right now that, they're putting their plan into place. And also we know we at the beginning stages of World War III. We know that the the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, Salak, and also we know that World War III is constantly picking up too. It's constantly what intensify. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Jeremiah. We close out here because it's going to be a time of trouble that we've never seen before. But the Lord is going what? He's going to lift up that standard. He also going to bring forth what? Spiritual power. All we must do is constantly trust and believe in Him. So let's go here. So that devil, he's constantly put everything into place, but he's moving very quickly and very rapidly. But we seeing it the play, but guess what? The Lord's getting ready to throw a monkey wrench in His plans. Let's see here. Verse 7 said, "At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it." It said, "It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of." Who shall be saved out of? The elect, the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And also, Jacob was the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. So we're seeing right now that the Lord is going to lift up a standard. The Lord is going to save His elect when He returns. All we must do is constantly what? Trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we're not worried about what this red devil is trying to do. We pretty much is laughing at how long, oh Lord, we ready to get the hell up out of here. You know what I'm saying? This is not our rest. So let's read it in NLT and we'll close out. It said, "In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. So it will be a time of trouble for my people Israel. So yet in the end, they will be saved, the elect, the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua." So we're seeing right now that this man's constantly plotting, against us. He's constantly putting his plan into place. He's constantly trying to force you in a chokehold, put you in a digital prison. But one thing about it, his hands will not be able to perform his enterprise. So we're saying that we're here, we got to be prayed up, we got to be circumspect, constantly, endure. The same that endure, the same shall be saved. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is "The Wicked Plotteth Against the Just." So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Quadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.